Can you tell us what your response is to the Oversight Committee launching an investigation into your net worth, you and your husband's net worth? They're claiming that it's risen rapidly. What's your response to what they're saying? Do you think they'll find anything in their investigation into your net worth?
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar avoiding questions about her net worth that has risen astronomically during her time in Congress. President Trump wants answers. Writing on Truth Social, quote, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar is worth over $30 million. There is no way such wealth could have been accumulated legally while being paid the salary of a politician. She should be investigated for financial and political crimes, and that investigation should start now. Saturday Night America anchor Kayleigh McEnany joins me now. It is amazing. When she started in 2019, she had a negative net worth. Her personal household net worth has gone from negative to $30 million, and her husband's Rose Lake Capital firm, a consulting firm, has gone from just dollars up to $25 million in value.
Yes. So what's interesting, you have her husband, Wynette, who started Rose Lake Capital, to your point. So Rose Lake Capital, you noted $42 and then skyrocketed to millions within a year. And these are according to public filings that she put forward, according to documents in a lawsuit.
Her own numbers.
Yes. And it caught the attention of, listen to this, not Trump's FBI, Biden's FBI. So in 2024, Biden's FBI raised questions about this skyrocketing wealth, some of these business decisions, and even Wall Street experts say, why is a former political consultant, that's what Wynette was, running a massive financial firm that, by the way, we've never heard of, and we're on Wall Street and we think we would have heard of it? A lot of questions.
Not to mention they also have a winery that has also experienced a similar, in California, by the way, that has experienced a similar explosion. Real quick, I want to play Tom Emmer, House Majority Whip, talking about this earlier this week.
This needs to be investigated. She was right at the center of the Somali fraudster operation called Feeding Our Future, the $250 million fraud case, largest pandemic fraud case in the country. Those are her people, and they're the ones that donated to her campaign. So Jamie Comer and the Oversight Committee are investigating this and looking into this, and this needs to be exposed.
Tom Emmer is Majority Whip because Republicans control the House. They also control the Senate, and they control the White House. Are they going to get to the bottom of this?
I certainly hope so. And by the way, I just note that that winery you mentioned, one of the wines was called the Devil's Lie. How about that? But look, they say House Ethics or House Oversight.
Sometimes they tell the truth.
Sometimes they do. Yeah. And maybe they don't. We'll see. But House Ethics or House Oversight is going to look into it. But look, it's time. To your point, we have the House now. And I'm hopeful and bullish that maybe Republicans will overperform in the midterms. But that's not a guarantee. So now is the moment for House Oversight to look into it, for the FBI to look into it. Kash Patel's been doing a phenomenal job. I have no doubt that they are. But look, the time is ticking, especially for Congress.
Do you get the sense, I feel like Ilhan Omar has, a lot of, she's been out there saying crazy things about the fraud in Minnesota, talking about the ICE agents. All of it sort of makes me wonder if she's not, I don't know. I just get the sense that maybe the walls are closing in on her. Maybe she realizes that a lot of these questions are being raised.
This is her district that she oversees.
Yeah.
We have all seen the billions of dollars of fraud. We're just now scratching the surface of it all. And I'll tell you, my producer, he's amazing, Jake, has been watching Somali TV all week. So we have all these new clips from Keith Ellison and Jacob Fry. And these elected officials, there's a lot of questions, what they knew, when they knew about it, and why they didn't act.
And when you think about $9 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse, in a lot of it touching on programs that Ilhan Omar brought, included in legislation, and brought to her state, and then on top of that, it went to people who were politically connected to her.
That's right. And that's why David Hoke and Nick Shirley bringing light to this and asking the questions and pointing out, what did you know? When did you know about it? I'm hopeful that all of these officials come before Congress. It's great to hear from Nick Shirley and David Hoke, but I want to hear from Fry. I want to hear from Walz. I want to hear from Omar.
Absolutely. Okay, we've reached out to Congresswoman Omar's office for a statement, but we have not gotten a response.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.